Hello interweb, and welcome back to Cattle Shores, where we have a glorious sunrise overlooking the not completely destroyed by my ineptitude town. Look at that glow. Look at that glow. Oh, isn't that pretty? Here we have the town where we've got some population now. I've got 1,400 people. Got the houses sorted out. Yes, this did become a little park. The fire station moved somewhere else. I ended up just plopping a normal basketball court. Where is the fire station? The fire station's there. The school's there, where it was near. But there's a park there, and there's people going. There's people coming and going. And over here we've got some more trees around the stuff. We've extended the path, etc. Just put some parks around, and there is a park. There is a park now that it's basically that's going to level up pretty quick because we've got some stuff in it. We've got it's got a cafe, it's got a gazebo, it's got toilets, it's got park information, it's got a trampoline playground thing, but it's also extending into this section, so it goes over the road and into this area, all the way up to the main sort of house, which now has two paths to the main road. Shiz life. That's the main avenue now, and it's got all of your little shopping districts down the centre, and a park maintenance building, and that therefore is alright. It's not terrible, is it? Some of the houses are separated with fences, some of them aren't. The old town is alright for now, and it's got some trees. And the traffic, let's just see how the traffic is. 84%, that's okay. Nothing's too busy there. Nothing's too busy there. Most of the busyness is on the highway. We don't want to look at that area though today, do we? No, we don't. What we're doing today is we're doing other places, and kind of planning. It's a little bit of a planning go this time. Now, what I need to do, I am going to need to make some connectivity up to these other areas. So there's going to need to be highway here, and I'm kind of thinking, I was thinking maybe I might go a highway in, or two highways in, to sort of join and converge in the urban sprawl area. But yeah, it seems a little bit too thin. I do want this literally just to be lots and lots of houses in a grid. That's where the grid city's coming out. So I'm thinking maybe up here for one highway, and up here for another highway, and then somewhere around the river town or the forest industry between those two. Possibly between those two regions, we might put another spot of highway there. And the city, well, look at that. Look at the lumps and the bumps. There's not a tremendous, I mean, a lot of this I kind of think is going to need to be a bit flattened, but not terribly. But we're going to break this up now. The fact that there might be a highway coming down here suggests to me that another good reason for not bringing it down here and then out is that then this might go straight through to the city around here and give another linkage here and a sort of drive around. Because if I'm thinking about areas, and now will it allow me? No, it doesn't let me just draw over. But I'm thinking this area probably a harbour. Right, so that as a new area, I don't know, I use a bigger brush for this because this is just a district. District, was that the word I was looking for in episode 1 or 2? Possibly. That feels like it's going to be a harbour area. Now, I don't have Sunset Harbour, so I don't have a million fishing things to be able to put out. Harbour area. Now, then in terms of actual city centre, you kind of think then this looks like it's going to be flat. So from here I think this is probably where we'd have our main city centre. So that looks like that. And Crest Heights is going to be renamed. Oh, we should call it Cattle City, shouldn't we? Oh, bit of lightning. City centre. Oh, aren't we planning? And instead of pressing X, I'm going to press Enter there so that it actually takes. But the thing is, then, the most expensive residential areas are going to be on the waterfront, aren't they? In other words, as much as I want most of my urban sprawl to be in that floodplain, we're going to have new stuff here. Over here is going to be a residential waterfront. So let's call it that. It's almost like we're planning our city out, isn't it? I've given that impression. Residential waterfront 1. Yeah, you guessed it. I mean, this is all... Don't want it to get too close to the old town, but actually this is going to be residential waterfront 2. So that's breaking up the city. Now then, this largely commercial stuff in here. The reason I'm worried about flattening it is because I've seen, although I haven't really used the Industries DLC at the moment, I have seen, I'm going to pause that because I'm getting up to 1,500 people now, and I do want to encourage more people when I get more stuff built. But I have seen that a lot of the factories and stuff are huge. So, I mean, maybe this area for some sort of industrial. I mean, it's nearer the old town. I mean, maybe this could be the factory region here, but then this will need flattening out, and this will need connecting to the highways. I mean, that gets rid of your need to worry about traffic in the city, because the Lilac District? No. Factory centre. Factory works. Now, that's not to say that's where all of our industry is going to be, because we've got industry buildings there, but these are going to be the collectors and the extractors and the processing things, or whatever that entails. Now, so that suggests to me that you're going to need a highway to the city set, possibly to the edge of the city centre, maybe sort of skirting between these regions. If I take a smaller brush, almost cutting across there, like that, almost like we're thinking about what we're doing, because that probably needs to be a highway. Whoopsie daisy. Cherry Hills. Good. And up here, Cherry Hills, I'm afraid you're the other highway. And then the other highway, I think we're going to try and drag it up here between the two regions. I'm not looking at the topography whatsoever. Somehow over here, near the town, and then connect to beyond. I mean, right by the forestry industry might be better from a traffic perspective, but actually that area is not so flat, so from a highway perspective I think that makes more sense. And also we're going to this looks like a nice little natural ramp. That's good, because we will probably then bring the other highway. It's just like I feel like I'm a 10-year-old drawing with crayons. Whee! In there, and then rejoin there. Rejoin. No, I've gone off piste. Let's get rid of... Oops. Don't think they noticed. It's fine. We'll go around the edge there and then bring it into there. So, that is the plan. We got a plan for a highway. We've broken up the city into some smaller areas because we're crazy. That's even the main city, and we're not going to work on that. The thing I wanted to do next was one of the industries. I'm a bit confused at the fact that I have no industrial demand, even though I've got 1,500 people, and people want to buy stuff, but I don't seem to have any demand for industry, which is a bit weird. So maybe I won't build that next. Maybe I will build some houses, or maybe I'll start the grid in the urban sprawl just to start populating people so that I've got people. But then if I start putting people here, I'm going to need to extend the power network, I'm going to need to extend the water network, and so it feels like I should be sort of working my way towards those areas without having done the infrastructure in the mid. Maybe put some temporary things down, temporary power lines, temporary waterworks, and then get them out. We're going to go down to the interchanges, and I think because of lane stuff, so let's lay out now. Let's lay out now some 2-lane highways. 2-lane highway, but that is one way, isn't it? Yes, 2-way highway is the wrong one, is the smaller one. And let's just check our region. Yes, so we wanted to go around this bit. So let's put some guiding highways down just before we get too crazy. Let's go smooth some of this area out a little bit. Just a little bit. Get rid of some of those deeper 10-meter lines. Let's just swish gently. I haven't got a big strong brush on. And yeah, okay, that's acceptable. And then we've got it's a bit of a crest there. Let's use the slope tool. Let's get down to there, and then natural embankment, and okay, so I want to put some roads in here. I don't have the parallel road tool anymore. I did have it. It's quite useful, but want to grab some stuff here now. Do love the trees, but there are a lot that are disappearing, and I don't want those assets under my highways. Check there's nothing I can't see. I mean, lots of obviously bushes in there that I will be needing to get rid of, but not seeing a tremendous amount that we won't be able to see, and then if we see it, we can bulldoze it as we go. The occasional tree, not so much of a problem, but if you end up with 30 of them, then not so good. We are going to start off. It's tempting to go elevated. Tempting to be elevated all the way until we get more rural. Let's go elevated for now. Let's go elevated for now, and I'm going to go 2-lane, nice and straight to start with. That looks like it's cutting into some things. Maybe I should have raised that, but let's deal with that later. Let's put all my guidelines back on. I took them off to make some fences around the parks. Okay, so that's all right. We're going to sort out the wonky land and stuff in a minute. We will come up with whatever is an appropriate height for these, and we will work out, and I suspect, given that that's sort of coming down, that our appropriate height is going to be sort of ground level by here. So I'm going to move it back to ground level, and then I'm going to give us just one more extension there as a straight, and then curve it. I do love a curvy bit of road. No offense to the M1, but I do live close to the M25, and that is a much bendier. There were a lot of trees down there. Got loads of trees under the road. all of those trees are going to go. So let's see how high. Now let's make these as high as that. And how high are they? Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Now, I do want to change this highway. This highway, I love you, Bum Bum, but this highway is a 2-lane highway. And I intend for my, let's call it a smaller highway, to continue to be a 2-lane highway. But I kind of want there to be a split, and with the whole lane mathematics thing, I don't need to. I don't want this thing to be 4-lane, but I will want this to be 3-lane for quite a while, and it's 3-lane up at the front. So what I'm thinking is 3-lane here, going off into two lanes, and then probably after the interchange here, I might scooch that up to a 3-lane as well. So let's see what happens if we try and upgrade to a 3-lane highway. That's a normal highway. It's a bit distracting because it's the icon sort of has two sets, and you think, oh no, that's not the one. Obviously I've got the Anarchy on already. So let's see. And that one. And Glitch Central. Hoorah! We're going. I mean, there's no point in rebuilding and then coming back to here. So, good thing that we've got the game on pause, because this would be a catastrophe. Dun 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 dun! Stunt cars and stunt people. The question is whether it will recognise the external link. Yes, it will. Good, because that would have been a disaster. You try and trick me, City Skylines, but I'm wise to your game. Okay, so I'm just doing this. I know that this is the wrong way around as well, but I wanted to line it up, and if I was lining up from there, it wasn't going to let me go. So, ta-da! Ha, of course. What that was saying was, but Daniel, you cannot change the direction of the join, so you must join like that. But that is right. That is still clean. That is still clean. And let us see from the perspective of taking this node and making it as high as that one. That's coming down a bit. Taking that node and making it as high as what we've got here, where we're joining up, gives us some idea. Oh, you see, that's a little bit higher, which makes me kind of want to start at that height and then bring stuff down. Although this was at ground level. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do then, I'm going to bring it back to that height. Then we're going to say that there was something. Look, I'll make it slightly more realistic. There. To run off into the sea. Now we've got some raised bits. Might put some vegetation around that in a bit. But what we need to do is we need to rescue all of these fallen road people. Now we're not going to save them all, frankly, because our road is going to need to curve. And this road does not curve. Now we can try bringing that around, and then no, we don't want to. No, we do want to. There we go. And bring that around to there, and then see if we can make that a little bit more natural looking. That's nice. It's not too tidy, but too tidy is not in my vocabulary. Bit of road there, so we can probably save these guys. I knew you were concerned. As an empathic audience, you were thinking, but Dannage, what happens if they all die? We don't like that. Whoosh. We want them all to survive. Please, please. Okay. Okay, you can have your way. Who am I to argue with a kind audience? Going to bend it round a little bit more. Doesn't feel like that was too naturally ground leveled. Let's bring the ground up underneath. Now, map makers, you may do this. Or you may be using Move It to change the height of your maps. And everything may seem fine. In the map editor, everything will look fine, and it'll look like this. It'll look like this has been changed. Even though the ground isn't actually at that height. The problem with the ground not being at that height, when you smooth in the map editor will go, oh, that's fine, you smoothed it. That's cool. I know what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do there. Yeah, I've accepted that. And the map maker makes you think that everything's working perfectly. And then you go on a map review show. Map reviewer says, I don't like all these shark's teeth around. You look at that and you think, that wasn't in my map. It's a loading bug. No, it's because the in-game terrain editor behaves differently. Haha, yeah, because things aren't sneaky enough. You get in there when you do any adjustments of your heights using Move It, such as this, and you change the height of the terrain underneath. What you do to smooth that out is you get your level brush, you go to your road, you right click to gain your new level, and then you left click just to go under your road. And then it recognizes the terrain underneath. That's just Dannage's little tip for the day. Well, I'm sure that this is very exciting. But with that tip, I think I'm going to move you into speed lapse time now. So thanks for watching. Catch you on Wednesday.